Hello, vinyl community and beyond. My name is Bryce. In previous videos, you may have seen me share bits and pieces of my record collection. However, in this video, I'm going to show you something a little bit different. I'm going to show you each and every single piece of colored vinyl that's in my collection. From clear records to every single color under the rainbow, there's going to be a little bit of something for everybody in here. Plus, you might learn about some new music along the way. So, sit back, grab a little bit of popcorn, and let's get started. Before we begin, let's go over what we're actually going to be looking at today. First off is going to be artists with at least 4 or more colored records in my collection. Then we're on to the colors themselves: clear, white, yellow, orange, pink, red, purple, blue, green, gray, brown, and finally my top 5 favorite colored records. First up, let's take a look at this short-lived shoegaze group called the Depreciation Guild, an offshoot of the 2010s indie pop group The Pains of Being Pure at Heart. This is their debut album, In Her Gentle Jaws, on clear vinyl, as well as I have the even better, at least in my opinion, follow-up Spirit Youth. This one's on translucent purple vinyl. As well, I have a couple singles from this era, Dream About Me, which has my favorite track by the group, Listless, as well as their second single from Spirit Youth, White Lily. Keeping with shoegaze, this is a box set featuring the seminal group Lush. This batch of albums comes in a box, housed within a pizza box. Open up the top, and inside you'll find their debut album, Gala, on this sort of milky clear vinyl, as well as their follow-ups, Spooky, Split, Love Life, and the B-side collection Topolino on silver, red, pink, and yellow vinyl respectively. Next up is a favorite of mine, British pop singer Charli XCX, with her releases Vroom Vroom, Number One Angel and Pop 2, Charlie, How I'm Feeling Now, and Crash. These come on clear, clear and red, clear once again, translucent orange, as well as this opaque maroon color vinyl. Next up are a batch of albums on clear vinyl. These include soul singers Erykah Badu with You Came to Use My Phone, Rye with Blood, as well as Seattle-based soul singer Alan Stone with his album Building Balance. There is Prince at his most spiritual with his album The Rainbow Children, Steely Dan vocalist Donald Fagen with his 2012 album Sunken Condos. We have electronic producers Nicholas Jarre with his album Tell Us, as well as Washed Out with his Stones Throw debut Mr. Mellow. We have pop singer Kim Petras with her EP Turn Off the Light Volume 1, seminal punk group X-Ray Specs with Germ-Free Adolescence, this unofficial copy of Bone Thugs-n-Harmony's debut East 1999 Eternal, as well as the debut single by duo Everything But the Girl. There's Chromatica by pop icon Lady Gaga. We have another unofficial vinyl release, this time of Frank Ocean's Blonde. There's Japanese singer Kaimi Kari with her album Larme de Crocodile, as well as a single by my favorite, however defunct local band, IDM and glitch group Azeta Booth with Pink and Lime. This one comes housed in a plain cardboard sleeve with a beautiful illustration on the inside, as well as a clear, single-sided record that the band has actually opted to write on the opposing blank side using a Sharpie. In fact, this, as well as all of the aforementioned albums, come on either a clear or a milky clear vinyl variant. A fun fact about clear vinyl records is that PVC pellets, which are combined to create a small puck, which is then flattened by a press and imprinted with grooves to create vinyl records as you know them, are in fact manufactured to be clear. It's only after a dyeing process that colored PVC pellets are created. This means that black records, the most common variant, are in fact colored records, even if we don't colloquially refer to them as such. And it's in this next batch of records that you'll see clear and colored PVC combined to create various marbling effects. This is an all-time favorite singer-songwriter album, Central Reservation by Beth Orton, which comes on a clear vinyl variant with wisps of pink. Followed by a staple of my high school years, They're Only Chasing Safety by spiritual post-hardcore band Underoath, which comes on a clear record with a beautiful black smoke effect. There's the debut album by beatmaker Flying Lotus, 1983, which comes on a smoky clear record with a random assortment of colors inside. Next up is the Beyoncé incubator, Destiny's Child, with their album The Writings on the Wall. This one comes on clear vinyl with a black splatter effect. Finally, for clear vinyl records, we have a single by Karen Elson, in which peach-colored flower petals have been pressed into the vinyl. This is certainly one of the most unique records that I own. Next up are albums I have on white vinyl. This includes the Ampersand, or and mixtape from experimental electronic artist Arca, Voyeur Dub by James Blake, released on his 1-800-Dinosaur label, as well as a single composed for a 1980s Atari commercial by Suzanne Ciani, who was kind enough to sign a couple records when I saw her perform a quadraphonic piece on a Buchla synthesizer. We have driving folk duo Dodos with their album Visitor, piano rocker Ben Folds composing for an orchestra on So There, as well as a couple albums released on the Brain Feeder record label, Fool by James Zhu and Nostalchic by Lapalux. There's an excellent collaboration between Nicholas Jarre and Sasha Spielberg performing as just friends on their single Don't Tell Me. Fun 9 by Japanese synthpop artist Takako Minikawa. Alpinisms by School of Seven Bells, released on the Ghostly International record label. As well as the first two full-length albums by previously mentioned indie pop group, The Pains of Being Pure at Heart. There's an unofficial soundtrack release of the seminal Super Nintendo game Donkey Kong Country. This one's released on a white vinyl record with a highlight yellow splatter effect. Next is The Electric Lady by soul and funk artist Janelle Monáe. This one's released on a half white, half black vinyl record. Japanese group Cornelius with their Mellow Waves album. This one features a pop-up gatefold and a vinyl record that's white with black splatter, as well as a Philip Glass remix album featuring folks like Tiondai Braxton, Memory Tapes, No Such Thing, and Beck. This one's released on a white with gray splatter vinyl record. For Yellow Records, we have two 2021 UK soul releases, In Praise of Shadows by Puma Blue and Color Grade by Tirza. Icons of political rap music, Public Enemy with their album It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. On the complete opposite side of the spectrum, we have the highly commoditized rap record Holland State of Mind, this one released by grocery chain No Frills. The debut EP by pop singer Rina Sawayama. Long-running Canadian ska group The Planet Smashers with their 2003 album Mighty. And Ben Folds, this time round with the self-titled release by his trio Ben Folds 5 on gold vinyl. We have a reissue of Found Sound composers The Books with their album The Lemon of Pink on a yellow record with red splatter effect. And finally, maximalist electronic producer Danny L. Harl with his album Harlcore. Next up are albums on orange vinyl, specifically translucent orange for this first batch of records. This is another local favorite, emo group The Buzzing Bees, with the only vinyl record released while they were together. Next is jazz rap group Diggable Planets, with their album Reachin', a new refutation of time and space. Followed by the first of two appearances by glitch electronic artist Secret Mommy. There is the collaborative album between singer-songwriters Nico Case, Katie Lang, and Laura Veirs on Case Lang Veirs, as well as the Fez video game soundtrack composed by Disasterpiece. Here are the Flaming Lips with their Sgt. Pepper's tribute album with a little help from my friends on translucent neon orange vinyl. Spelling with her album The Turning Wheel on a similarly bright orange record. As well as folk pop duo The Weepies with their album Say I Am You on translucent dark orange vinyl. There's a split single featuring Mac DeMarco and Japanese music legend Haruomi Hosono on Honeymoon on this very pretty orange splatter vinyl record. The soundtrack to my favorite Satoshi Kon film, Tokyo Godfathers, on orange vinyl with red marbling. An unofficial copy of Drake's If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, again on orange vinyl with red marbling. A split single between Canadian indie acts Purity Ring and Braids on orange and blue swirl vinyl. And finally, the debut solo album from Nick Zamudo from The Books on this stunning orange and black splatter vinyl record. For Pink Records, we have a compilation of Japanese city pop songs on Pacific Breeze. This one's on Baby Pink vinyl. A 12-inch single of the Savage remix by Megan Thee Stallion and Beyoncé. An early single from Lady Gaga producer Blood Pop under their former name Blood Diamonds. Post-punk act Bonadish with their compilation The Zaragoza Tapes. As well as De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising. This one's on pink and yellow vinyl respectively. We have Freddie by rapper Freddie Gibbs. Some Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis worship from Jesse Lanza on All the Time. One of the biggest pop records to come out of the pandemic, Dua Lipa's Future Nostalgia. Secret Mommy, once again, this time with Mammal Class on pink splatter vinyl. Melodic black metal act Deaf Heaven with their album Sunbather. This one's on baby pink and translucent yellow vinyl respectively. We have the jazz-influenced Chances by Jill Barber on translucent pink vinyl. as well as the self-titled record by Smiths-like band Nightmare Review on pink with blue and purple splatter. Red is among the most common color variants, so there's more than a handful to go through. We have 2 companion albums by cinematic synth-pop act Chromatics, an entire Steely Dan cover album by indie rock act The Darcys, Flying Lotus with the soundtrack to Netflix show Yasuke, death metal act Horrendous with their album Idol, proto-hip-hop act Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five with The Message, a posthumous album from Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, the self-titled 1990s pop rock album from Amanda Marshall, Rosalia with her album Motomami, Sophie's brilliant album Oil of Every Pearl's Un-Insides, the self-titled album by alt-rock band Third Eye Blind, the sophomore record by bass phenom Thundercat, Apocalypse, the soundtrack to a musical episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Once More with Feeling, another vampire soundtrack, this time Only Lovers Left Alive from Jim Jarmusch, Willow Smith's Lately I Feel Everything, and finally a 10-inch single of the song Maps by Yeah Yeah Yeahs. All of these aforementioned albums come on either solid or translucent red vinyl. We have Ready to Die by the Notorious B.I.G. on red with black and white splatter, and white with black and red splatter respectively. The soundtrack to body horror film Videodrome by Howard Shore, again on red with black and white splatter. And finally, another soundtrack, this time for the film Drive by Nicholas Winding Refn, on half red, half clear vinyl. In my experience, purple records are certainly less common than their red or clear counterparts. Here's Carly Rae Jepsen's Devotion album on solid purple vinyl, Prince's Musicology, considered by some to be a comeback album for the artist, on transparent purple vinyl. Another favorite of mine, You Say Party, We Say Die, with Hit the Floor on purple, red, and white splatter. An entire Hall & Oates cover album by jazzy indie pop duo The Bird and the Bee. Chance the Rapper's Acid Rap album on purple marbled vinyl. And finally, the soundtrack to a highly regarded anime series, Cowboy Bebop, on purple marbled and red marbled vinyl, respectively. For blue records, we have angular indie rock act Minus the Bear with their album Planet of Ice on clear, light blue vinyl. Heart by Montreal group Stars, whose music I covered for the first song you heard in this video. Pop singer Olivia Rodrigo with her album Sour. Crowded House member Liam Finn with his debut album I'll Be Lightning on baby blue and white vinyl. Dub reggae artist Augustus Pablo with King Tubby's Meets Rockers Uptown on marbled light blue vinyl. Jazz and classical are mixed by Charlie Parker with strings. This is the Alternate Takes album on solid blue vinyl. We have Tuesday Night Music Club by Sheryl Crow. Cyber Grind group Genghis Tron with Dream Weapon. Saint Vincent with Mass Seduction, sample-heavy Australian group The Avalanches with their classic album Since I Left You, Cornelius once again, this time around with Point, on blue and white vinyl records respectively, Nicholas Bertel with the Moonlight film score, Japanese folk and pop artist Shugo Takumaru with his album Toss, as well as a compilation of Japanese ambient, environmental, and new age music on transparent blue vinyl. We have 2 film scores by Cliff Martinez for the Nicholas Winding Refn films Only God Forgives and The Neon Demon on blue and red and blue and green vinyl respectively. There's a compilation of tracks out on the PC Music record label. This one's on blue and red vinyl records. We have a blue marbled 7-inch featuring the song Baby by Donnie and Joe Emerson, as well as a cover of it by Ariel Pink and Dame Funk. Michel Ndegeocello with Peace Beyond Passion on blue marbled vinyl. The Hey Arnold cartoon soundtrack on blue and yellow marbled vinyl. Kim Petras, once again, though this album cover doesn't exactly read well on camera. This record's on blue and white splatter vinyl. And finally we have Kendrick Lamar collaborator Anna Wise with her live album Gently Powerful As If It Were Forever on this blue, light blue, and gold tricolor vinyl. Next up are albums on green vinyl. First is The Fame by Lady Gaga on Coke Bottle Clear, which tends to have a green hue compared to their transparent counterparts. Next is the Get Hurt EP by noise rock duo No Age, and this one comes on solid green vinyl. Followed by this unofficial lathe cut of the Yoshi's Island soundtrack composed by Koji Kondo. This one's on transparent green vinyl. The Charlie Brown Christmas soundtrack by the Vince Guaraldi Trio. This one is also on transparent green vinyl. We have the final album by indie rock act Ninja Gun. This one has a beautiful screen-printed album cover and also comes on transparent green vinyl. The first of 2 appearances by hip-hop duo The Satisfaction with their album Earthy, as well as Common's Like Water for Chocolate. This one comes on transparent green vinyl as well as a white vinyl record respectively. We have the Batman Forever film soundtrack. This one also comes on transparent green vinyl, but comes with a purple vinyl record as well. We Will Always Love You by the Avalanches on this beautiful green swirl vinyl. We have Mort Garson's Plantasia album. This one's on green and white splatter vinyl. And finally, we have the Flaming Lips once again with their Flaming Lips and Hetty Fwen's album. This one's on hand-tossed vinyl with a green forward amalgam of colors. For colors outside the rainbow, let's start with gray and silver vinyl. This is horrorcore rapper Backwash with her album Bury Me With My Rings and My Dresses. Neo-soul singer Maxwell with the first installment of his Black Summer's Night series. Lady Gaga once again, this time with the Fame Monster on silver vinyl. The second appearance by indie rock act Minus the Bear, this time with They Make Beer Commercials Like This, and this one comes on gray and pink splatter vinyl. And finally, we have Britney Spears' Greatest Hits album on gray with black splatter. The final color we'll be looking at is brown, starting with this collaborative 7-inch between Constantines and Feist with their cover of Islands in the Stream by Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers. The final appearance of hip-hop duo The Satisfaction with Au Naturel on brown marbled vinyl. We have metalcore act The Dillinger Escape Plan featuring Mike Patton on Irony is a Dead Scene. New age artist Yesos with his Interdimensional Music album. This one is also on marbled brown vinyl. We have Chad Van Galen's side project, Black Mold, on tan brown splatter vinyl. And finally, the debut album by Snoop Doggy Dogg. This one is on marbled brown, green, and white vinyl. Without further ado, these are my top 5 favorite colored vinyl pressings. First is an album whose records best match their sleeve. This is a reissue of Donna Summer's Greatest Hits on pink and purple vinyl respectively. Next is a reissue of the debut album by Haruomi Hosono on clear with black smoke vinyl. Next is Toro y Moi's album, Underneath the Pine. This one comes on clear with orange splatter vinyl. Next is an album from my childhood, Our Lady Pieces, Happiness is Not a Fish That You Can Catch, and this one comes on clear vinyl with this white smoke effect. And finally, my favorite colored pressing is the single of Outkast's amazing song, Spotty Oddie Dopalicious, on pink splatter vinyl. Phew! Well, that was kind of exhausting, wasn't it? That was over 150 colored vinyl records from my collection. I certainly had a lot of fun putting this video together, and I hope that you had a lot of fun watching it too. Be sure to leave me a comment if you had any favorite releases that I showed off in this video, as well as if you have any suggestions for future content on this channel. Be sure to give this video a like, as well as to subscribe to my channel and click the bell for notifications. I've been Bryce, and thanks so much for watching this video.